What's going on, Attack Squad? It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Anime 343, back in it once again. And today, I wanted to do a follow-up live stream, trying to tell people. Hold on just a second. The bleeding
Hey.
out of here in a second. Hey, dude.
So what's up?
Oh, not much. Just wanted to do a follow-up to the video I made yesterday about people needing to reach out and get in touch with their friends.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Because, basically, I just really want to say, we should actually try to be like a bridge of support for those who need it. Because,
Definitely.
people are. Because when, what I want to say there, when Jay Senpai made that video the other day, I just kind of felt bad for him. And then,
Wait, what happened to Jay Senpai?
oh, he was just going through some IRL issues and along with trying to figure out how to actually make money from YouTube. But
Well, that does suck.
yeah, I know. I mean, the guy's trying his best to actually, give us good quality entertainment. But you got to remember what Raging Golden Eagle said. Don't put your eggs all into one proverbial basket. You see, you got to actually have something you can fall on. Like, I actually have a job. I'm really happy for it. And, I just actually do YouTube for fun. And
Yeah,
also
same. But
to actually help heal the end.
though YouTube is more of a passion project for me, even though YouTube is beyond help at this point. Hey, Sarno.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey, Sarno. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
I just
trying
want
to
to say
actually.
something. I want to say something real quick.
But
Smaller sites like the Fediverse and stuff are going to have to move to Tor if the Earn It Act passes, because they're going to have to obscure they're going to have to basically obscure their identities like these dark web marketplaces, not because of anything they do, but because let's say Dicey has a the pedo Dicey has a vendetta against someone. Well, they can go to their website, upload child porn, and then submit a tip, of course using a VPN and stuff, and then that's under Earn It. That site, because there would be a small site who cannot afford things like Microsoft's Photo DNA or something like that, that site would be held responsible under a state law, because Section 230 is basically what Earn It would destroy for anyone who's not rich. It basically would make it so that they would be held responsible just like Dicey would. So basically, they would be what's a secondary liability. Basically, they would be held just as responsible as the person who uploaded it. And the reason is because the protections for the safe harbors for websites that are in federal law, a lot of states don't have them. So all it takes is for one state, a state prosecutor, to know this is going on, and then prosecute the website because someone uploaded it. See, this is the problem with the Earn It Act, and it would basically make it so that some of the states that do not have proper safe harbors in their own laws against CP, the ones that they don't have the protections for websites like the federal one does, those states would be able to go after websites, like let's say, maliciously, and get them shut down and their owners put in prison and labeled a sex offender, not because of them, but because someone else happened to upload it. Even if the website owner reported it and deleted it like their duty is under federal law, that wouldn't count. State laws don't have those same protections. So it's going to make it so that website owners of small websites are going to have to use the same kind of anonymity thing that criminals like the dark web marketplaces use. They have to obscure their identities to avoid secondary liability for what other people do. And this is what the Earn It Act is going to do.
Yeah,
So,
I totally
It's gonna
agree.
fuck
piracy
over
websites-
any small website.
Wait, what's gonna happen to piracy websites for anime?
They're probably taken down. Probably.
No, here's the thing. No, see, that's a whole different ball game. That's a civil thing, and the government really doesn't do anything directly. That's up to the lawyers of these anime companies to do. The problem is that this would be a whole different ball game. This would be criminal. That like they would be pressing criminal charges, which the government can do willy nilly. So basically, we have a situation where if Blumenthal gets his way and the Internet Act passes, small websites will have to hide themselves, so that if some dirtbag decides to upload CP for the hell of it, even if they have their same policy of removing it, it wouldn't be for them to, it would be basically, it wouldn't be about them. It would be about so that they aren't held responsible for what their users do. If the Internet Act passes, that's what's going to happen. Because state laws, it's about having one of the 50 state laws. If at least one of the 50 state laws doesn't have safe harbor provisions, which a lot of them don't, then you're basically fucked. Because Section 230 is what makes the internet a federal only thing, and the federal law has good protections, which the state laws don't. And that's why we need Section 230 if the internet is going to basically be a free and open internet. If we don't have Section 230, then any old willy-nilly state, like any state, like it would be a mess.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Cerno, but let's try not focusing on any political BS, because basically I'm trying to.
That was a good lecture. Thanks for the lecture.
But I understand where you're coming from with all that stuff, but like I said,
I'm just saying, it's any small site who can't shell out cash to Microsoft for photo DNA will have to either shut down or move underground, because that is exactly, and you know what that will do? That's something that would be a boon to big tech. It would actually help big tech because all their competitors would be shut down.
Yeah, basically, let me just simply say this. This is why we actually need to actually have this is why this is why I seriously hate politics, along with freaking all these big corporations.
It affects us though. That's you cannot ignore it when it affects us. That's the thing, is that what's going to happen is that the mainline tech platforms, they're going to start basically pulling a tumbler once this passes, because they're not going to risk having some idiot dirtbag, of course, Twitter, they're all going to pull a tumbler and remove all adult content, is what they're going to do to save themselves from Internet Act. Because, and this is, and then any smaller site that allows NSFW stuff will have to move underground, because there will be no protection from state laws that do not have the same, safe harbor provisions, for so that the site owners, where if they do their duty under the law, where they wouldn't be also held responsible, that would be gone. So basically, even if the site, let's say someone uploads and the moderator found it and caught it and deleted it within a second, doesn't matter, they're still guilty. So it's basically strict liability bullshit.
Hey, Mr. Anime, I'm about to head out here real soon.
Sorry.
So, thanks for having me here. Stick with the shadows, because at the end of the day, the darkness is always with you.
Was always with you. Come on, I gotta go deeper voice, man. Deeper voice.
Nice. That's nice.
So
all right.
So
see you guys. See you guys
later, man. Well, anyway, guys, like I said, the reason why I'm making this is because basically JSFIX4 was going through a hard day. He was actually trying to figure out ways to actually make money, try to actually help himself. And, I actually kind of felt really bad, because I'm trying as much as I can to actually try to show support for my friends. And let's not forget, Elena Window Vlogs, aka Maggie Negan T WD Fangirl 27, was actually being attacked and harassed by I Stand with Big Fails. All these freaking.
Ready.
And she was going through a hard time. And, she was so I actually had to reach out to her fiance to have him help her out as best as possible as well. Because, you see, the last thing I really want to do is actually try to, freaking lose one of my friends over something tedious. And I don't know what to do, guys. Yeah, I feel sorry for him too.
The only thing I can really say is just either live by the block number or just try not to bring it up as often as you can. But even if I were to talk to my relatives, it's like there's not much they can do about it either. It's like as long as nothing too personal has been achieved by these people, then at most your identity is still safe online, at least for the most part. If it's a full blown dox, then it's like, yeah, take it to the police. That's what I would say. But then again, what are they gonna do? I'm just saying. There's not much you can do. It's like if they can track the IP addresses, that's about it.
I guess move to a state. I guess your only option is move to a state with a strong self-defense and get a concealed carry.
Yeah,
to deter these people who might try to come to your house.
If it gets to that point, so if it does get to that point where,
I hope it doesn't.
Again,
but another thing you have to watch out for is swatting, which for some reason the police departments around the country haven't found a way to deal with it.
Again, as Sir admits, they haven't done that yet, and we already lost too many people with swatting. I remember something about a Call of Duty match that wasn't just for a couple of dollars. Someone's like, I'm gonna SWAT you, and
yeah, and the thing is,
you get the horns, and someone did lose their life, but the very horrific thing, it was to the wrong address.
Exactly, and you know what?
Innocent family lost their dad.
Well, you know what? I'm just glad that the person got. Honestly, I think swatting should be automatically charged as attempted murder.
It should be attempted murder. I know my uncles are gonna hate me for that, but it's gonna be does it fall under the categories? It kind of does, but that's the hard thing. It is a attempt, but then it's one of those things.
If it was charged as attempted murder, it would be more of a deterrent because if they were caught, they wouldn't go to jail for just a false 911 call. They'd be going to jail for trying to kill someone, which is basically what they tried to do.
It's kind of like premeditated, but it's
basically premeditated. And if the person dies, it should be counted as premeditated murder. They should get capital murder if they SWAT someone. It should be if they SWAT someone, the person dies, it should be capital murder.
Exactly, and also,
very tricky, but.
Shiny Evolution Cosplayers Game Corner says, don't forget, I got attacked by I Stand with Big Fails, I Stand with Big Reports, and her sieves, which they want to get my account banned over tweets that doesn't exist.
See, even I remember this. I remember this from back in the day. Thank you, Review Tech USA, reporting on this, that there was a couple that were dating a while back ago. They broke up. They all think it's good, but then all of a sudden he gets a knock on the police door saying that you're under arrest. I'm like, for what? For stalking, harassing your ex-girlfriend. This guy gets thrown in jail, and he's living with his grandma at the time, and she's doing everything in her power to get her nephew out, or grandson, to say, out of jail. Unfortunately, the stress was too much for her, and she ended up dying.
Did
the grandson ever? Did they? What kind of proof?
Oh, he got out of jail, but at that point, it's kind of too late. Because
you know what? Honestly, the cops, whoever signed the arrest warrant should be kicked out of off the bench because that's fucking stupid. If they should have to subpoena Twitter and get the tweets from Twitter first before making the arrest.
Well, this is on Facebook, so yeah, this is on Facebook, but how the girlfriend did it, she created a fake Facebook account, so that's absolute bullshit.
Couldn't they have subpoenaed Facebook first and said, give us the IP address, and they'd notice that it didn't match? Because that's one of the things they should have done.
That's what they should have done. I'm like, how the fuck do you not do that? Again, I have my own video about defending Mr. Anime over here, but
honestly, they really should. Honestly, whoever there needs. Honestly, we need to get rid of qualified immunity. We need to get rid of qualified immunity so that he could sue for that fucking shit. But nope. Instead, the police are immune to everything.
Hold on, I'm actually bringing in Ty as well, so I'm actually.
I haven't checked up on that report a long time, but it's been a while. It's been a while, but that was a long time ago. I know some other stories as well that are completely fucked up. One of them is more fucked up, but I'm not gonna. The best way I can say the story, the identities of all these people are kept a secret, but what happened to the guy was the worst thing that could have happened. Something happened that the girl made up. He gets arrested, but years later, after the guy, is no longer on the earth with us, she's come out and said that actually I lied. It was all consent. And guess what her dad is? Her dad was like the sheriff of that town, but I know that from a colleague, but that was still fucked up.
That's the thing, though. Even if they come out and she should go to prison for however long the person was in prison for.
Exactly.
She should end up spending that time.
Whoa. That was just flat out scummy, man. Like
it was like my colleague said, they were a very good couple. They broke up peacefully, but again, this was years ago, so I'm like, that's still fucked up. I'm like,
yeah. This is why I actually don't support having no statute of limitations on rape, because the women can abuse that like you would not believe. It's the Me Too movement has proven this.
Yeah,
let's move on from that. Let's talk about something very more positive.
Grifters, man. Grifters.
Okay.
I agree with you, Matt. Let's talk about something positive. Let's change the subject.
Guys. If I can interject here. Another example is the Rising of the Shield Hero. Remember how people were actually up in arms about freaking, the freaking rape allegation that Might actually had against Naofumi in the Rising of the Shield Hero? Even though it was written by a woman, mind you.
It's because they don't even want the possibility. Like, even in they want to control fiction because they don't want it to cross someone's mind that even the possibility of a woman lying about a rape accusation should not exist anywhere, even in fiction. Basically, it's the same concept of why they want to censor boobies and stuff, because they think that fiction will somehow program people's moral compasses.
Okay, that is just completely freaking asinine, if you ask me. That is just
very.
That's why they want to control fiction.
If boobies somehow control moral compasses, then they are doing a terrible job with me.
Exactly.
Me too, man. I mean, good lord.
Let's change the subject, please. I'm getting a little depressed at the moment, so let's change this.
Let me go back. Let me kind of backtrack here, because I have a question. You guys brought up the whole swatting thing earlier. Don't some states already put, because of all the shit that went down in the past? I think there was even
some states have made it felony.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there an incident that a celebrity actually got killed in a swatting incident? And after that, didn't they start enacting laws that said that swatting? Some states. I'm sorry. I cannot speak right. But then some states actually put it in as a felony, as like an attempted murder, because of.
I don't know, but I think it should be considered attempted murder, honestly. And if someone gets killed, it should be murder. I mean, it's basically capital murder at that point. You basically called the cops and had to basically use the cops as the murder weapon.
Because I know some states have even gotten around to, when anonymous threats are being reported or something, they don't even roll out the SWAT team anymore. They just go and do a check now because of bullshit like that. Because
and what's funny is that it's going to be the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
I was actually surprised I wasn't swatted, considering I I'm actually surprised I wasn't swatted, considering I was doxxed by the fucking Holmes of all people.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, Maggie Negan, TWD fangirl, says, thank you for making the video, Mr. Enemy 343. You're awesome, bestie. Hey, at least just hear me out, okay? Anytime you actually need somebody to actually give you some moral support, I mean, basically, there were a couple of times where, Enemy Night 1992 almost yeeted himself out of existence because, he was going through so much. But I actually reached out and, I got you guys involved as well because basically I did not want to lose my best friend over something as tedious as him actually having having a mental breakdown. Because
yeah, I know
that's something I want to backtrack to as well. I haven't been keeping up here. What's the long and short of it? Like, what happened?
Well, basically, Anime 1992 actually has been, having some mental issues, and he was actually about to, off himself to another world, aka take his own life.
Well, yeah, I got that much, but what was the catalyst behind it? What?
All right, I'll do this. All right, well, anyway, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick, but
okay.
I'll finish it up as soon as I come back. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry about my spiel earlier. I just think that that's something as bad for the internet as the Earn It Act that would basically make smaller platforms impossible to run without the risk of
Oh yeah.
The road to hell is always paved with good intentions. There's always a good intentions for something, but it's always going to end up, bad in the end.
You know what's going to happen, right? The smaller sites are just going to move to Tor because they can't afford all the things that would need to be protected from having some state law that doesn't have being dragged into a state court that doesn't have protections like the federal law does. So that means that they would literally have to basically anonymize their website, basically become a Tor hidden service, just like the freaking Silk Road, just because they're wanting to avoid being held responsible for what their users do, even if they do have a policy of immediately deleting any illegal content. Because it just being up there for 1 second, before the moderator gets to it and deletes it, that would be enough to put them in jail in some states. And because the internet is across all 50 states, that means basically that the strictest law of each of the individual states would become the new national standard.
Well, let's
for
also
any site that couldn't afford photo DNA or anything like that from Microsoft.
Well, let's also keep in mind that, even with the best technology we have available, do you honestly think people are going to be able to screen for that shit?
Well, see, the screening is a condition to having your 230 protection in that respect restored, so that you wouldn't be vulnerable to each individual 50 states laws. But without having access to that photo DNA thing, you would be vulnerable to having a state law come in. Because the thing is that state laws often do not have, as I said, do not have the same protection. So if the state law is the one you're charged under, you're just fucked, because that's probably strict liability, and it doesn't matter if you're trying to run a website legitimately. It does not matter what you're trying to do. So strict liability is something that really needs to be removed from criminal law, I think, because of that.
Don't get me wrong. I understand where the government wants to go with something like that. I mean, I really get it. That's, you want to take shit like that off the internet, but let's be honest. You put the government in control of anything, it's never going to end up well.
Right, and what's going to happen.
It's like you said earlier. People are going to start going and using Tor, which, let's be honest. Let's take a look at every single ban that has occurred in the history of the United States. For example, every time a mass ban occurred, people go and they resort to, methods that would normally get them in even worse trouble.
Well, here's the thing.
The situation here is they all go to Tor, and let's be honest, Tor is a haven for the black market, like you said, or
well,
like
they wouldn't be
earlier.
The black market. I mean, basically, it would dilute it. In fact, you would have a lot more Sure, Tor. The thing is that it's a tool that's misused by criminals. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's a tool that just happens to be misused. It's the same thing with gun control, honestly.
It's the same thing with gun control. It was the same thing with prohibition. It's like the more you try and implement a ban, or the more you try and implement extra control into something, it's not going to work. This is a dead on arrival plan they have.
And the thing is that a lot of the people who want to operate websites legitimately on the ClearNet are the ones who are going to end up suffering and going to prison and being labeled sex offenders, not because of what they did, but because of what some user on their site did. Even if they did take action.
So we end up making more criminals.
Right.
That's all they're going to do, is they're going to end up making more criminals where there's no criminals.
And the funny thing, they would probably going to prison under state law where they've never even set foot in, because a lot of states like to extradite people.
Can I interject there, guys?
No interjection for you. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All these wokies want to call us the fascists for wanting freedom and all that, and yet
the problem is this is a bipartisan thing, and so it's very likely it's going to happen this year.
I gotta go give Dio the link to the stream here. So,
all right,
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
And not only that, but it's probably going to have Twitter banning all NSFW content, just like Tumblr did. It's probably going to be a knock-on effect.
Again, we're apparently the fascists for wanting freedom, and yet
some of the Republicans are on board too. Mostly Josh Hawley.
That's honestly concerning to me as well, because all these Republicans
to protect the children is how they're going to get the left on board with censoring the net.
Yeah, fucking tradcocks.
Tradcuck, exactly.
Were it not for tradcucks, we wouldn't have SJWs in the first place, and this whole shit show wouldn't even been a thing, and we would have been a much better timeline than what we fucking got now.
Is it possible if I can change my party alignment on my voter registration?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, this is actually a bipartisan thing, though. Both parties are agreeing to this.
Well, as
welcome to
life's
biggest train wreck possible.
The last time they tried it failed, but only because of outcry. Thing is, I don't see a slew of media articles like back then, so they could. There are some media articles, but I'm wondering if that will even make an effect, because I don't know. The thing is that the only good thing that will come out of this would be the Democrats eating their own. But the problem is what we need is more freedom. We need more little L libertarians, not the big L, but little L libertarians who will go into and flush out the freaking tradcucks.
Yeah, I'm actually
primary every single one of the tradcucks, including Josh Hawley, because he's one of the ones leading the charge, trying to censor the internet for the good of the chillins.
And yet they only care about
I'm for as little government. Yeah, that's why I'm for as little government as humanly possible, like microscopic levels.
Most importantly, why are we trying to make the internet safe for children? Why is your child even on the? Why are children even making social media accounts? Oh my god!
Exactly, but apparently people think it is, and so we all basically.
Whoa! One at a time.
Well, what I was wanting to say though is about this whole think about the children. What if
get to the point, Dino? Get to the point.
What's really annoying is the fact that they want to, think about the children, when yet the children do not belong on the fucking internet in the first place. Think about it like this. When you have Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, the children, I don't know if this happens at y'all guys' house or whatever, but the children have their own table. Alright? Or at least in my household, the children get their own table. What business does a child have at the adult table, right? None.
Yeah.
Just like when you think about, when a teenager goes out with their friends, or when a adult goes out, to a bar and shit. What business does a child have with a adult going to a club? None. A child does not belong at no club, does not belong at the adult table, and they do not belong in the internet. I mean, they can have the little Club Penguin and Peppa Pig website and whatever kitty nonsense. But Twitter and Facebook and other sites are meant for teens and adults, or you guessed it, for teens and adults. When I'm on Twitter or any other website that was made for us, I want to see little Timmy going, "Oh my god, I saw boobies!" When? Like, get the fuck off, you stupid child.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but when I was growing up, I didn't
just raise
I
a
didn't
cop
have
at age
full
to
use of
16.
internet.
Raise a cop at age of 16. All these companies, at least like the big ones like Twitter, Facebook, and others, run on data. And this is the thing is that they run on advertising data. Well, if they can't collect that advertising data on they probably wouldn't want them on the site because they'd just be a waste of bandwidth. So why not just raise a cop at age of 16? Twitter will update every other site will update their TOS to say 16 and over instead of 13 over. I don't think 13, 14, 15-year-olds should be on mainline sites.
No, they should.
Honestly, I don't think anybody under the age of 18 should be allowed on the internet.
Exactly. Because again,
I mean,
what business does a child
It's like
have?
treat the internet like cigarettes. Well, no, actually, here in Texas, that was increased to 21. So
yeah,
I
think in all 50 states it was increased to 21. But I mean,
in fact, just increase everything to 21.
Well, no, we don't want that because then that would instantly create many criminals just out of the blue because all of a sudden and then plus there would be a discrepancy between us and other countries and it would just be a whole mess. I think, but I think that anyone, it's just becoming a mess.
What we also need are more parents keeping an eye on their kids. We don't have parents keeping an eye on their. When I was growing up, do you know how old I was before I ever ventured onto the internet myself?
How old?
15.
How old?
I was 18
15.
when I was traversing the internet on my own. When I was growing up, we had one computer in the house, and that was because that one computer was in the living room. All right. My mother was in there constantly to make sure that we were not using the internet for anything but homework related.
Exactly. And so that's the way it should be.
Now, here's something I want to throw out though. Like with me, we didn't have the computer because, okay, so the bastard that the bitch who gave birth to me was married to at the time when I was like a teenager, he didn't know how to use a computer. Mind you, I did, and I was more than willing to show him. But you see, the caveman's mindset was, "Unga bunga. If me not know, then no one know. Ooga booga." And so we weren't allowed to have a computer because of his smooth brain. But the time that I actually really sat down and had a computer to myself was at 18 when I had my own laptop, and that's the way it should be, though. I mean,
explain in the comments. They explain it in the comments perfectly. The reason why these parents are too lazy to take responsibility on themselves, we know the point
honestly. I kind of miss the old days because because like in the 2000s, you could give them a computer, you just wouldn't give them internet access. But nowadays, everything requires the internet, so there goes that.
Oh, yeah. Now everything's going all Deus Ex.
Yeah, I miss the days when you could give them a computer, but you just wouldn't give them internet access. That was like the best way to do things.
Give them some computer games, and that's all I needed.
Next to my mother.
Like, give me
video games. I'm good to go.
Whoa, one at a time.
Yeah, next to my mother, like monitoring
I did get busted a couple times.
Yeah, the problem with computer games nowadays, online activation.
Yeah.
So you'd basically have to connect it for that online activation and then just disconnect it after that.
Yeah, I mean, growing up though, I mean, what was even stricter was my stepfather, because my stepfather, he was the computer whiz in the family. This is like a second layer of making sure that we weren't doing stupid shit on the internet. Or putting stupid shit into the computer itself. I think he had it like set up in a way where it was like, we couldn't like upload shit without him knowing about it.
So wait. You could you could never see two girls in one cup then.
No, I unfortunately saw that when I was in college.
We all did.
At least
I think I am going to have to locate you now and hurt you for reminding me that it exists.
Oh, I never saw that, but I want to tell you.
Oh, you sweet innocent summer child.
Yeah, I was
So basically,
I wasn't even 13 yet when I first saw Goatsy. My mom doesn't know how to use technology, and she was meaning well, but I had a computer when I was 12. Not a good idea.
Uh-huh.
I was a little cringe-lord on the internet.
Says, hold on, guys. Shani says the reason why these parents. Hold on. Let me just read this chat here. Let me read this.
And I just did a while back ago. You're slow on the draw.
All right. Well, anyway, let me. Whoa, guys! Let me read this. The reason why these parents are too lazy to take responsibility on themselves. The reason why these parents are too lazy to take responsibility on themselves. We know the point that there are parental locks on every electronics.
Yeah, there you go. Like there's a parental lock, but yet mommy and daddy are like, I don't give a shit if my 6-year-old watches rap music where they're talking about bitches and hoes and.
Well, the thing is, see, the thing is,
what? Okay.
We have parental controls on virtually everything, but they're never utilized. The kids that are being given their cell phones. Again, this kind of goes. The kids that are being given their cell phones and iPads and all that stuff today, they're nothing like my parents when I was growing up. They just give them to them. They don't implement any sort of like block program. They don't implement any sort of parental control. They even have programs. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, there's parental control ability on the fucking Nintendo Switch.
Exactly.
You got parental control on Verizon's programs too that allows you to filter out things that you do not want, but they do not take advantage of any of this. And at the risk of offending some people, a lot of it is also because parents these days are just getting younger and younger. You got children raising children.
Yeah. And that's the issue. I remember when I was in like high school, and I'm pretty sure we all seen this too. When you're in high school, you got some of these girls who are also pregnant, and it's like, wow, really?
And you want to know what's funny?
Not once.
You know what's funny is that even in recent years, they even tightened, like they even made statutory rape laws stricter to try and prevent this. Well, it just made more sex offenders who actually are not pedophiles. So, for dating someone in their own age group. So you didn't do anything except fill up the sex offender registry with people who are actually not a threat anymore. So when are they going to review? They need to review the list because it's been, because in an effort to stop teenage pregnancy, they toughened up these laws, but yet because of the 2006 Adam Walsh Act, now the judges' hands are tied when it comes to that. So
okay, somehow that evaded my.
Well, I mean, they tried to toughen them up.
Look at that.
I think they toughened them up to try and prevent teenage pregnancies. Well,
and one thing I want to
tell you, exactly do what it was intended to do, unfortunately.
Ugh.
Which I do agree with toughening those laws up, but you have to. I don't think punishing young couples that way is going to be very good, because that is kind of going about it the wrong way.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to throw out there too, by the way, is I feel sorry for kids today because they don't have a, and I'm going to say this, I don't care if you got the whole, okay, boomer meme or whatever, but kids today don't have a childhood. Like, kids today don't have that real deal childhood like all of us when we would go outside, play in the dirt, get, scratches or whatever, jump out of trees, do all sorts of crazy bullshit, and, have fun. Yes, I had the Nintendo, I had the NES back in the day, the OG game console, but I didn't play it 24/7. I would play it,
Yeah.
it's time for me to go outside and have Godzilla go up against Batman because why not, right? Like
Yeah.
kids today,
Yeah, the imagination
don't
of children, man.
they don't have that mindset. It's like I gotta stay in school. I gotta stay in and talk on my cell phone. What if I miss something that I don't even know what 6-year-olds do on the damn. Can someone tell me what the hell do a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old child does on a cell phone? Because I can tell you what I do, or I can tell you what we all do. We go on either Twitter a little bit, we go on YouTube. Oh, that's what they do. They go on YouTube 24/7, and they don't do anything else. There's no playing, there's no imagination. There's no, hey, let's go outside and have this pretend that we're the Transformers and we gotta beat Megatron. Like no, there's none of that anymore.
I think one thing that I've learned as I've got, because I'm 35 now, and I got to say that
I'm 10 years younger than you.
I think the older that I get, the more I'm beginning to realize that I'm becoming much like my mother. If I don't even know if it's legal for me to, but if I were allowed to adopt a child, and if I ever do, if the first cell phone they're getting,
you to adopt a child. I am adopted, so you have to meet like certain requirements. So if you meet those requirements and you have a stable job, a good living home condition, you can adopt a child. And if you're very financial supportive, you can adopt a child.
In other
You
words,
say
rich.
that. You say that, but yet there are many, many, many reports of adopted children going to shitty homes with a bunch of damn meth.
See, that's the problem right there, Donald. You're not me. You don't understand me. Some of us are very fortunate and lucky. I've been adopted for my entire life, and I love my family. Donald, do you understand I would have died? Do you understand I could have died? My body, my immune system was not fully operating. It was not working correctly. I had kidney stones as a kid. I could have died in Guatemala. I could have died in Guatemala, or worse, I could have lived up on the streets. I could have been a criminal. And even right now, I could be talking to you right now saying that all of you motherfuckers changed me for the better. But here I am, 25 years later. I've had my high points, I have my low points, but god damn it, I'm glad to be alive, and I'm happy that I'm one of the very lucky people to find a family that absolutely loves and supports me. And thank you, Mr. Anime. Thank you so much. That I've found good friends. I have a 7-year job.
Peanut butter the dad there, Joker.
And that's great. There are kind people out there. It's always the bad apples that keep getting these parents, the bad reputation. For crying out loud, my sister's also adopted from Madison, Wisconsin. And guess what? Every year that our parents do for us, they celebrate our gotcha day. It's a day that they got us.
Oh,
and I'm very proud of that. They celebrate that.
That's wholesome.
And for me, because I'm adopted, I want to give a kid, guy or girl, that chance that I've gotten. So that's my goal. If I get married, I want to adopt a kid. I can look at my whole list of
Dude,
where
you
my
have to
family.
be married, really?
You don't have to be married. You don't have to be married. Some people can adopt kids if you are very financial supportive. I know someone who did adopt a kid, and there's a single parent.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, because I know that a lot of people want you to have to be married, but
you don't have to be married. You don't have to be married.
But yeah, I'm just kind of gonna backtrack here, but if I ever do, my kid, they're getting a friggin' flip phone. They're not getting a smartphone.
There you go. Yeah.
Good parent. You're already good parent in my books.
Fun fact.
They are getting a smartphone. I don't care if they get upset with me. The first thing I want to tell them is, you're going to thank me, because while all these kids are rotting away their imaginations on YouTube 24/7, you're actually using yours on your free time.
Exactly.
And on top of that, your game console is going to be in the lid, just like my mother. Because I swear, I'm becoming more like my mother, and to some degree, even my stepfather. The game console is going to be in the living room for the first maybe 12 to 13 years of your life. And we're going to be keeping an eye on you, making sure that you play for only an extended period of time, and then you're going to go outside and you're going to play.
Yes.
Because I was, because that's how they did it with me too. I was allowed to play on the console for at least 2 to 3 hours. 3 on a really good day. I was allowed to play on the console for 2 to 3 hours. But growing up, I had really bad social phobia, so I didn't really have much of a social life. But I was still expected to go outside and play.
With me, it's kind of I chose to do it. Like, I would play on it for like an hour or so, but it's like, I want to play with my toys now, so I'm gonna stop and go outside and play.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that joke right there.
And the phone has to be on the family plan too. That way, I know exactly what's going on that phone.
Exactly.
Anyway, what I was going to say.
Father of the year, folks, right here. Father of the year.
Well, I was going to say something about the whole, I think that if let's say on the weekends, if you're too strict, then you're basically gonna run into a problem where they've been out that if they're you can't say that you have to have it proportional to the time that they spend outside.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want to have them only playing 3 hours when they have a freaking 16-hour data themselves on the weekends when they're not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't go full authoritarian there, but you got to take into account school days and whatnot. It's okay.
Yeah, when they're in school, I can understand that.
And maybe on some weekends. On some weekends, though, I probably would have to limit them when they have exams coming up and all that stuff.
Right.
But you don't want to go full militant on them.
Right? Yeah, because that's what I thought though. Let's say you're doing that 2-hour thing. That's all good. But what if I'm assuming you're gonna the PlayStation or whatever? What if they're on a pause that is that pause, the one that takes a fucking 50 minutes to beat because it's a pain in the ass? And then after they beat that, you have to go to the save point. So I'm going to assume you're going to be kind of lenient on that. Okay, yeah, beat the boss, go to the save point, and then be outside.
Anyway, I guess, and another thing
that brings up something very, very important.
I was going to say,
I believe I put this on the Twitter DM group. Is that a while back ago that a father, promised his son, I'm not going to say the council's name quite yet, but he said, I will give you a counsel if you get the remaining grades in school A's. So the kid does this. He works his ass off to get all these A's. Now, I want everyone's individual opinions about this. So your kid works your ass off. He gets all the A's. Is he going to get the counsel? Here's the counsel. A PlayStation 5.
I know the post you're talking about.
And the dad wanted to weasel his way out of it.
Yeah. It's nah, Dad. That's bullshit. You want to be a man? You be a man of your fucking word, and you get that son a PlayStation 5 like you promised. Okay, especially since he busted his ass for it.
If my kid were to make high honors in school, they can get whatever they want so long as it's legal.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is money issue too. You gotta make sure you can afford it. But here's the thing: is that okay? The thing is, if you don't get them the PS5, that's just gonna teach them that you work, you promise them, and people will that you're just gonna turn them into cynics, kind of like I am, where I always expect to be disappointed. I always expect to be betrayed, let down, and all that kind of shit, because that's pretty much what's happened to me all my life with some people.
Also, Shiny Evolution cosplayer Game Corner said this really wonderful thing that I resonate. The thing with schools, they're not that great because it's not only the indoctrination by these bullshit teachers, it's the mentality of the other kids due to the situations with the asshole popular kids and the fucking bullying.
Exactly. And, we had this conversation before, too, and the school system is absolute BS because you could be a kid, mind your own business, not even doing anything, but if, the bully walks up and punches you, the innocent bystander, the victim, will get suspended. Meanwhile, the bully will just get slapped on the wrist. We've seen it many, many times.
Yeah.
Hell, you on
I've experienced
YouTube.
it.
Zero tolerance. Honestly,
I got attacked
honestly,
in school
this
one
is why,
time, and I fought back, and I got
You
suspended
know?
because of a zero tolerance policy. They were telling my mother, well, your son laid a hand on him, and my mother had to threaten to take my school to court because I had gone to the faculty about it. I mean, they'd be pushing me around in the hallways, actually doing physical harm to me. And finally I got fed up with them. One of them laid a hand on me. I punched him back.
Good.
And I got threatened with expulsion.
honestly,
trying to defend yourself.
We need
It's because zero tolerance. We gotta be higher. We gotta go higher and all that stuff.
Bullshit.
You know what? Here's my thing. I think that the same self-defense laws that apply to people out in public the school should have to abide by them.
You know what's funny?
The same self-defense laws should have to they should still have to apply, even if it's a school policy matter.
Yeah.
For example, like in Wisconsin, like the whole the school should have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you didn't do it in self-defense. I mean, it should be the same standard. Because they should have to apply the same law, the same standard. Because these schools and their zero tolerance policies are enabling bullies, and bullies can hold it over their head that if they try to defend themselves, they'll get in trouble too.
Yeah.
Schools need to change.
And
well, it's one of those points where it's like, I'm sorry, I understand that the school has its own rules, but by this point, state and federal legal rights trumps those rules that you make.
The right to self-defense. The right to self-defense is enshrined in our laws that adults abide by. Why aren't they enshrined in the rules that students abide by in school?
Because schools want to indoctrinate you into being weak. I mean, I bring up one thing that me and Didi talked about several times on here.
The thing is, self-defense is a fundamental right. It should be unconstitutional with these school policies. These schools are government institutions.
Yeah, that kid had the rainbow dash book bag and got bullied in school because of, oh my god, you got ponies. The principal's like, oh my god, well, maybe you shouldn't bring the book. Like, no, asshole. Maybe you should do your job and tell Dumb and Dumber to not bully someone. But no, they want to make a victim. They want the people who get picked on to be nothing more but a welcome mat for the bully. Because you see it on the news. You see, hell, on YouTube right now, you can type, bullying to the extreme or whatever. I don't know the exact words.
It's what they use. That's how they got their foot in the door with the whole woke censorship on Twitter was cyberbullying. It was the foot in the door.
And you got these kids who are bullying someone, and
I know
you
the
hear
name.
about
I
this.
know the name. Amanda Todd. We do not need another Amanda Todd situation at all.
Hell, we don't even.
That was horrifying.
Oh, this shit was going on long before the Amanda Todd thing, and when Amanda Todd happened, all of a sudden people decided they wanted to care. So call me heartless, but I don't give two shits about the.
Sorry,
I mean,
I don't
call me heartless, but I'm sick and tired of hearing the Amanda Todd situation. This shit was going on in the media and publicly for years, long before Amanda Todd happened. And now all of a sudden people want to act like they care because
The problem is
because a little girl just decided to become headline news.
here's the thing. The problem is that the parents don't the problem is everyone who's involved in politics only cares about federal politics. They don't care about state and local, where all the bullshit happens, where the states can get away with anything. And this is the problem: is that nobody seems to like, none of the parents, like, it wasn't until recently that parents started to run for school board. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, I kind of want to go back to the whole boy thing. Like, I too, and I'm pretty sure everyone here was 40, like in fucking middle school. I went to this middle school that was an F-rank school. I was called every name in the book, including the slur for white people. I was, pushed, shoved, tripped. I couldn't even take a shit in the damn bathroom without these little bastards throwing a goddamn trash can in my stall. Hell, when I went home from school, or when I would come to the bus stop, I was picked on, teased, tormented, left and right. And whenever I would stand up for myself, all the boys had to do was, he started it, Mr. Principal.
Yep.
And the principal, like the ugly dog that he was, believed them. And it got to the point where these bastards could have had me thrown in juvie because they thought it'd be a swell idea to say, he threatened to kill you, Mr. Principal. I never said that. And I had to beg like a goddamn dog to that piece of shit to not throw me in juvie.
And the worst part about
you to throw you in juvie, wouldn't that be don't you have the presumption of innocent in a court of law?
He didn't give 2 fucks.
They don't have the evidence. If they would have done that, hopefully if a parent is ever in that situation where they should take it all the way to frickin' Supreme Court, because just the word of someone should never be enough evidence to throw someone in jail.
The bitch that gave birth to me and the bastard she was with didn't give 2 fucks. If anything, the bastard just seen this as an opportunity to spank me with a goddamn 1-inch board that was the size of the length of your fucking arm with holes drilled inside, and he named it the ass kicker. And he went to town on my goddamn ass.
Maybe the thing is that if kids are being put in juvie without sufficient evidence or any kind of, that should be a violation of the 5th Amendment to a right to a trial. That's serious. That's a serious violation if they have no evidence and they just throw people in juvie anyway.
They didn't give
the court system right there is violating people's rights.
They didn't give 2 shits about me. Like, the only time I ever felt fucking loved was whenever I was with my Mimo and Granddaddy. That was the only time I felt human compassion.
Honestly, kids who've had to go through that, they should be allowed to sue the fuck out of the state where they lived. Sue the hell out of the court system, because that's we need to do something about this whole statute of limitations. There should be no statute of limitations on violations of the right to a fair trial.
Well, the only good thing that came out of this was the bastard that, the bitch who gave birth to me was married to, died a slow, painful death of throat cancer. And on the day he died, I laughed my fucking ass off.
Oh shit! I thought I was dark.
Well, when you're abused, you kind of,
I'm not. No, I'm not saying I blame him, but damn.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, so the lab just called and your crown.
Yeah, you definitely might want to, put it on mute.
Hey guys, listen. I've actually also been through so much in my lifetime, because basically, here's the thing. I've actually been freaking abused by a stepdad that never loved me, and My mom never really cared about the abuse that me and my older sister were going through. And if it weren't for my little sister, Mariah, basically, I don't think, my abusive stepdad would be living. And, that's why I'm actually trying to get my actual name legally changed back to my birth name, because I don't want that weight of being a Riando, tied to me anymore. Because God forbid that man has actually been such a weight to me. And if I ever get my name legally changed, that is going to be one of the greatest things that ever happened to me in my entire life. Because I'm actually going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can get my name legally changed back to my birth name, which was Roman Scott Earl Mackey Rideout.
And you should.
Yeah, when I turned 18, I almost did something like that because I had my biological father. He and I were just it was toxic, but I'm fortunate enough though to where he actually came to me and he at least atoned to some extent. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'd say he'd probably fully atoned for all the shit that he put me through. I mean, we keep regular communication now. I mean, for the most part, it's like, okay, I mean, I was fortunate enough to at least go through that, but yeah, I almost did what you did and almost dropped my family name because of him.
Well, with me, I had another stepfather after the bastard. This one was just a limp dick loser that the bitch who gave birth to me was married to. And I have a little sister. Mind you, the little sister came from the bastard, but thankfully she is nothing like him. And thankfully he died when she was, 3 years old. And, my little sister, even if she's 20 years old, she's 20, I think 20 this year, she's still my little princess, regardless. And I love her very, very dearly. And, I told the, limp dick asshole, if anything happens to my adorable little sister, you don't have to worry about, your future, because I will make sure it comes to a halt.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
Shadow actually brings up a good point. Hey, I know I just left earlier, but I just wanted to say this. If someone's bothering you or trying to be a jerk, just ignore them. Like RTE says, no attention is worse than giving negative attention to them.
Okay. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can do that on...
I was watching Raging Golden Eagle earlier.
You can do that with cyberbullying. You can do that with but in school. I tried that stupid method, but it didn't stop, people throwing paper balls and books at me. No matter how many times I ignored it, it was just like, no, let's keep going because we have no life, we have no value. So let's bother somebody. You can't always ignore a bully. You can't ignore a waste of space. Sometimes you have to make sure that it is, known that I'm not going to tolerate your stupidity. And if you keep your stupidity up, I'm going to hurt you until you go to a damn ER.
Yeah, I mean, if you can avoid it, that's actually perfect advice. But when you're constantly exposed to it, then, that's kind of where my mother's stepfather's advice.
I think bullying should be made. Bullying should be. Sorry, I was gonna say. I think bullying should be a valid reason to quit school and not have to face any kind of truancy troubles. If you're being bullied and they're doing nothing, that should be a valid reason to be able to be allowed to quit school. Because
I would have been happy to have been homeschooled back when I was a teenager. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know if I've told anybody this, but whenever I was being teased, or whenever some jagoff would try and beat me up, I was like, I was actually forced to grin and bear it.
Honestly, if they were to if they were to allow people to just graduate 9th grade with a GED and not have to deal with 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I think a lot of people would probably come out better if they could get their education somewhere else that wasn't, full of bullies, and then get their HSED later.
But guess what? I was never good in school because of these damn bastards tormenting me. So in 9th grade, I did quit school, but
Nowadays, you have to
I
be 18 to quit school.
Oh
You
no, I
can't do
was
it at 16
18.
anymore.
That's the thing. I was 18. I quit school, but when I finally did, graduate. I mean, not graduate. When I finally did get my GED, I went to college, and it was so much easier. Like I was able to not only focus, but since we are adults,
They don't have. I mean, if they don't have, it depends on where you go. The thing is the thing is with colleges is that you pay to go there, so they have to
Yeah.
provide some level of quality of service, or else you're just going to quit. See,
Well, I mean,
that's the thing is that they have to deal with the bullies, or else they lose their revenue stream.
And that's the thing. Like I didn't have to worry about bullies because I don't know. Maybe it's because we're adults. So it's like why are you going to be a waste of space, right? Like you're here for college. I mean, yeah, there was that one guy who I don't know. It was something about him I just didn't like.
Maybe if they allowed people to just quit with a GED after 9th grade, then maybe the bullies would just quit, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th would be more tolerable. Because the bullies would quit school.
But here's the thing, though. Even
I managed to find this last night, and Gordon in the USA was asking me to actually freaking review this.
Oh, Goblin Slayer. Woo!
Nice.
Ooh.
But now, what I was gonna say was like it was messed up though. Is even though you're an adult, that still doesn't take away from the boys because it's still it's not the schoolyard, right? You can literally be going to a Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you got that one family member. I have that one family member.
But at least when you're an adult, you can legally defend yourself and not have a zero tolerance policy pushed down your throat.
Oh, then yeah.
I'll give it a few years. I'm sure California will bring something out.
California will, but that's because they're shit libs.
That's fuck California. But it's like, no, I mean, what these schools are wanting is victims. And I'm going to use a word that I used when I was a kid. Like, when I heard about these school rules, you can't hit, you can't do all this and that. Like, this was like me in 3rd grade, and I called this, they want us to be Care Bears. Basically, spineless little wussies.
In other words, basically the big plan of the New World Order in a nutshell.
Which I mean, to be fair,
oh my God,
I feel bad for Roshan
Rashawn, is
now.
this the 19? Did we go back to the 1990s?
Apparently, we did.
I just watched the debate of Christians try to argue that porn is bad and my brain cells died. Oh, I feel sorry for you. Right
Why do you think they're trying to silently pass the Earn It Act and basically make porn untenable on the ClearNet? By basically imposing secondary liability.
You know what's funny? It's like
kind of tell me that you're trying to tell me that jacking off is not normal. I mean, come on, man.
And
they're not. It's not all Christians. They're a special type of Christian. You're government type. You're caliphate type. We call trad cucks basically want a Christian caliphate.
One thing I want to talk about though is
trad cats, trad cons, fucking all these all these freaking Christian extreme right people. They're just actually trying to destroy everything.
They're just as bad as extreme left, in my opinion. They're just as bad as extreme left.
And one thing I want to talk about though is I kind of
guys. I'm only gonna say this just once. I am proud to be an apolitical libertarian.
Bingo!
And one thing I want to talk about is I kind of miss the annoying Christian because at least they were just annoying and people ignored them. Meanwhile, you got these wokies who are like, The poop is offend me. I identify as a non-binary SpongeBob. Where the poop is
Get
I'm
to
also
the
fine.
point. I swear, Donald, you don't do this. I'm gonna start our own drinking game during the live stream. The longer you take, the more shots I have to do. Do you want that to happen?
I'm actually.
No, no, no,
You know what?
no, 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 no.
Here's the thing. I know someone who's a Christian, and guess what? They actually are more on the side of less government, believe it or not. They actually don't think it's the government. I think that they think that it should be society itself, but not the government. Like they shouldn't have the government involved in micromanaging people. Like they're basically what they're based. The thing is trying to force Christianity by precepts by law is actually against the New Testament, believe it or not, I think.
Yeah.
And
Also,
you know, well, I can't say
Sniper-
much on
Ultra
that. I
Sniper
mean,
X comments. I am Salamanian, and yet I watch hentai and nudes. Mwah. Culture.
no, I can't say much about the whole
to me, it's about how
Christianity
people
thing.
treat others, basically.
Hey, guys. If I can interject here, I want to say this. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Latino. I'm not using the Latinx because, Joker, of
Oh,
course.
he's
the
because-
Latinx.
Dude, I work at a place that is literally over 90% Latin, and they find Latinx to be racist as shit.
And as they
Or
should.
at this point,
As they should, because that's not their word.
It's
But-
literally impossible for them to say, and yet white leftists keep trying to push it on them.
Okay, guys.
Oh,
what
that's
did Malcolm X say about the white liberal?
Finish, okay? Let me finish. Ultra Sniper X says it's pronounced Somalian. So yeah, in fact,
All right, now I know.
in fact, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what color you are, what your belief is, as long as you actually have a healthy respect for anime, and you actually, respect not just my views, but all of our views here, then you're actually more than welcome to come with us on our little freaking.
It doesn't have to
We're
be
crazy
just
action
anime.
media.
It could be
be
film,
anime, it'd be like
sci-fi.
just in general. Treat people the way they be treated.
It could be a lot of
No.
Okay, what the hell did I? Okay, what the hell is a wacky channel?
A wacky
Don't
channel is
care.
probably
Fucking no.
Oculus.
Oh no!
A wacky channel.
But anyway,
Trying
anyway,
to get us.
I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
But
Okay.
anyway, I mean, I can't really say much regarding the whole religion thing. I mean, atheist and everything, but
Oh, same here.
but let's bringing up the whole that whole thing back in the 90s. It was also a completely different climate back then, because you at least had the left, who was actually a bit more actual liberal, not the big L shit, but they were probably closer to what was considered liberal, and actually shooting back, telling them, hey, no, that sort of shit. But it's the political culture has completely flipped over on its head, though. Nowadays,
Oh,
I mean,
God,
we don't have
The
very
problem
many
is
people.
I don't know if
Fuck
there's
out of here.
anyone on the right that actually wants freedom. I think that I'm afraid that it might be a Trojan horse, where people like Josh Hawley, for example, is a Trojan horse.
Too bad his parents didn't use a Trojan.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he freaking had to block both a wacky channel and MockTube because probably might be a couple of
I
socket
can tell
drops
that
for
with
fucking
Oculus.
MockTube.
Just ignore them. Don't give them any attention. Just keep going on with your stream, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, basically, if you guys actually respect anime just like I do, I mean, I've been into anime ever since I was 7 years old. It actually helped me actually overcome some of the abuse that I've actually been going through with my abusive stepdad and all. It actually kind of shaped me into the person that I am today, because it actually helped me out through some of the toughest times that I had to go through. And I will admit,
Hey.
kind of a shut in, but it's only on certain times when I'm not working though.
Yeah, but besides, it doesn't even have to be just anime. It could be.
I'm a shut-in,
game.
especially during the winter. I hate it.
Yeah, it can also be video games.
Cold weather.
It can be sci-fi. It can be fantasy. It can
Life in general.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Exactly.
general culture.
Yeah, it's actually basically nerd culture. If you actually have a healthy respect for nerd culture, then you can actually join us in our little crazy ass shenanigans. But whatever you do not actually call us pedos, because that shit will not fly.
Yeah, that shit's gonna get you the banhammer from us.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that there's, and the funny thing is that this is one thing I'm worried about, where you might have the trad cons, the trad cons and the SJWs teaming up.
Okay, TradCon, what is that?
A traditional conservative.
Or as I'd like to call them, trad cuck.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Trad cucks. Yeah, and that's one of the things they're worried about, is a bipartisan effort to try and censor things.
They've essentially become two wings of the same flightless bird.
Yep.
So they're Kiwi.
Yes, Kiwi.
just like the farms.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, that place is just a freaking snake's den right there, and that's why
I just avoid that site nowadays. It's
it's
become basically a bunch of they're trying to bring high school to the internet, basically.
In other news right now, we've lost.
Honestly,
I was well past high school, but just when I thought I was out, these fuckers pull me back in.
When it comes, let's talk about these idiots for a moment with the whole obsession with high school and middle school, because I honestly God don't understand their thought process. I'm pretty sure they don't have a thought process, but
you can blame Chris Chan for them even existing. Let's just say that they started
even then,
picking
we
on
also have
that
to
guy.
show pity for Chris Chan.
But what I was about to say, what I was about to say
after
was,
what he did, I don't really feel any pity for him anymore.
But what I was about to say though was,
I honestly kind of stopped showing pity for him a few years ago when he. I mean, people can sit there and blame autism all they want, but autism doesn't make you too stupid to realize that you don't use a fucking weapon against someone who did nothing to you.
Yeah, but what I was going to say was, though, is these people, or for whatever reason, obsessed with fucking prom. Dungeons and Dragons has a prom session for a reason. Every single cartoon they make has prom. Now, granted, the Owl House can get away with it due to the Owl House, Luge, and Emily and them are literally in high school. They can have a prom episode. But why the fuck does She-Ra, a grown-ass woman, have to have this thing called the Princess Prom when they're all grown-ass adults? It doesn't make sense. These people have not grown.
It's projection.
Also, I just want to say something.
Okay, Roshan says, okay, listen, I get that people who need religion to cope with stuff like death and the loss of a loved one, but when you start shoving it down our mouths, that's a problem.
Yep.
And yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm willing
honestly,
to say that. I mean, it's like, if you believe in that stuff, more power to you. I don't, but more power to you.
Yeah.
But I understand the purpose. It's
I'm more an agnostic myself. I mean, I'm open to any possibility.
Yeah,
I'm just
in fact,
not.
To me, it's like, what I mean, when people try to enforce beliefs based on something that's inherently unknowable.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I chose to be agnostic, because when I was living with my freaking stepdad, he forced me into Christianity.
Oh.
I mean, I was raised Catholic.
Yeah, those kind of people.
After a while, I was just like, I don't need this. Like, Like, why? Like, I look at all my friends in high school, and like, they never went to church once. Like, crying out loud, one of my friends' dad got mad at him because I guess at their church, you write down like why you like coming to church. One of my friends said so I can hang out with my friends, and dad got pissed off at him. I'm like, so what? So what? Like, he likes hanging out with his friends. Like, maybe it's
My stepfather tried to
stupid.
do that with us when he married my mother when I was little. He was raised Roman Catholic, all right?
Ooh.
And he ended up marrying my mother, who is an agnostic. And I don't think he realized what he was getting into when he tried to force it on.
Oh.
He tried to force it on everybody, and she's like, "Honey, I love you for everything. I love you for everything that you do. You serve our country. You bring home the bacon. You do this. You do that. But the second you start shoving religion down any of our throats, this is a free choice household, honey."
There you go.
If my kids want to be religious, they need to come to that conclusion themselves. But you are not to shove this down their throats.
There you go. Like, that's the annoying thing because religious people are kind of the OG.
At least your mom had some spine,
SJW.
unlike some other, others I've heard about.
Yeah, and like when it comes to religious people, the Christians, whatnot, they are kind of the OG SJWs for this. Like, you have to believe in my thing or else.
SJW classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting. Yeah.
Nathan Stein from Arkham Outpost. I don't really think there's much of a difference.
If I had to choose which is more strict between Catholic or evangelicals, I'd have to say evangelicals by a slight margin.
Yeah, I think evangelicals, like, they are like, you can't do a whole lot of shit. And if so,
Get the
you
fuck
are.
out of here, man. Nobody asked for you.
Like,
another fucking troll of Moculus.
Oh my god! So stop giving, stop promoting them. Just continue with your stream and just block. All right.
Just block. Just block.
Yeah, just do
like. Don't let them interrupt the flow, dude. Just keep going.
Yeah. Anyway.
Here's another question for you guys. Do you guys like Draco Lord Nick 67? Dude, he's a nice guy, and yeah. I actually do follow Draco Lord Nick, and he's actually a really awesome dude, and he does
Draco
a lot of
Lord
cool stuff.
Nick.
Yeah, I miss when the religious right were the Puritans too. I mean, because at least when they preached their bullshit, we just ignored them. Granted,
and
they
were actually okay, guys. I know I'm trying to avoid politics as much as possible, but this is just getting freaking out of hand. It turns out that the red states are actually freaking, like down in Tennessee, they're actually doing freaking book burnings.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, wait, it's not on the news a while back.
Yeah,
are we going back to that time?
Yep, we're going backwards. We're going back to the we're either gonna live in a communist country or we're gonna live in a Christian caliphate, type thing, like Saudi Arabia, except
do that. I'm doing my cyberpunk flipping right now.
Yeah, wasn't Fahrenheit 451 supposed to be a warning?
It was, and so was 1984.
1984 was supposed to be a fictional book, but look at that. Idiocracy was supposed to be a fictional book, but let's be honest, we're delving down into an idiocracy.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, hell, you look at
be better than that.
Hell, you look at the anime Shimonetta. It's supposed to be a fictional anime, but yet
they're using them as an instruction manual.
Have you guys ever seen Demolition Man?
We're supposed to be better.
Oh yeah.
Remember Demolition Man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Demolition Man.
I honestly
the prophet.
And it's not like this. Demolition Man, it's not like this what the Wokies want. They want to take away masculinity, guns, everything that, is awesome, cool, whatever. Hell, they didn't even have sex. Like, How were they able to do it?
The only way you can actually have sex is by virtual reality. I mean, they're even replicating that.
No, there was literally a beach. I can't remember which beach it was. I don't know if I've read like a couple of articles on this. I can't remember which beach it was, but I think it got like turned down or something. But somebody wanted to actually make it finable for you to cuss on the beach, and it's like, okay, no, this is Demolition Man levels of stupid.
Oh yeah, this is very. Oh my god! When exactly did we turn into Demolition?
Fahrenheit at 1984.
Demolition Man was supposed to be a freaking comedy.
I was right, dance.
Yes, it's like that's something from RGE, isn't it?
Nice. Shimonetta gets in there too. Basically,
don't forget Brave New World. Brave New World predicted that shit by a mile.
Dude, that is so freaking cool.
I don't want to live on the planet anymore.
I don't want to live on the planet anymore.
No, this planet's awesome. I want these assholes off my fucking planet.
Yeah, let's get rid of them.
Yeah, I want to round up all these Wokies and just shoot them into the sun like they did in The Simpsons.
Launch them into the sun, and hopefully that will also help us with the rapid depletion of our finite resources that is being wasted on these mush-brained morons.
Fuck you. Thank you. One of you.
The elites are also wastes of space, honestly.
Yeah, just launching them in the sun and hope the sun actually.
What if we happen to get to the purge?
No, even better. Even better. Find as many uncharted islands as you can. Throw them all onto there and turn it into a nice little game show.
I got it.
No,
Extreme Survivor.
I really like where you're going with this one, Ty.
I don't think there's any more uncharted islands.
Guys. One at a time. I'm sorry.
Satellites kind of made it so there's no more uncharted islands.
No, because there's probably unique animals.
Okay, Joker just got yeeted for some weird reason.
I'm more thinking chuck all the elites and Wokies into Amazon rainforest and have them try to survive a bunch of angry and hungry tribesmen.
No. The Amazon rainforest is already going through enough with problems as it is. Let's not use the rainforest for that. No, just throw them on islands that are barely habitable. That way there's no escape. That way there's no escape for them. And they are forced to survive.
We don't need them messing up Brazil.
Yeah, hopefully filled with cannibals.
You know what's funny is
anyone remember Cannibal Holocaust? I mean,
oh
God.
But somebody brought this up a while back. This movie idea where a Wookiee from this century gets teleported back to the 80s or the 90s, and they have to go to high school and shit. It would be absolutely hilarious because as soon as they say, "Hi, my name is Waggle Waggle, and I identify as a non-binary toothpaste," ooh, woo! You have to call me. That kid is dead. That kid is dead.
And then they try to whine and cry, and then then they basically end up in a mental institution.
Where they belong.
Back then, they hadn't trickled down to the elementary schools yet, or more middle or high schools. Hadn't trickled down to K through 12 yet back then. Though it was still an idea. Although I would rather go back in time to like the 70s and stop these ideas in their tracks before they freaking infested everything. And fight the right wing, and maybe even try to prevent the DMCA from being passed in 1998.
In all honesty, I would not even want to try this. I mean, you always want stuff like that to be out in the open. That way, you know who your enemies are. The problem is people need to be smarter on who they let into office so that these things do not get passed.
Joker's back.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I mean, stopping the DMCA would at least.
For a few minutes, he was living up to his name.
Huh?
I don't see you living next to your name either, so.
Oh, hush! I will come over there and I will claw you. Would you like me to scratch your back?
No, let me see if I can do one of them. Let me see.
Why so serious? Why so serious?
It's simple. We kill Batman.
Rest in
Why
peace,
do I got these
Heath Ledger. Basically, he's like my first favorite live action Joker, hands down.
Yeah.
Ledger?
I will say he played that role really
Jack
well,
Nicholson.
but yeah, Jack Nicholson. There's always going to be a bias.
Oh yeah, Jack Nicholson is long freaking
Joaquin's really
21 and a half inch barrel revolver.
Well, don't forget,
I-
Nicholson
Yeah.
only did the. Well, don't
Yeah,
forget,
and
Nicholson
you
only
know,
did the role
it's
because
really too
Buddy was
bad.
in it, so.
Honestly, you know what'd be funny is to get a concealed carry license and actually carry they just freaking like the Joker, like what
Get out
at
of
the
my
range,
face,
just
clown.
pull out the range.
Which
You know,
one?
when you're testing it, when you're like on the range and something, just to watch people look at it.
My sister and I a few days ago binged that on because she has the HBO Max streaming service, and we binged like virtually every Batman video we could find. She absolutely loved the Joker one. Then we watched the second one with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. She loved Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, but she was not very fond of. Was it Danny DeVito?
Halle Berry?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Danny
Danny
DeVito was
DeVito
Penguin.
was the
She
Penguin.
thought that movie was just a little too extra, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little more extra than what I remember it. And we already saw Catwoman several years ago when it came out, and everybody hated it.
Yeah, give me
Okay,
Michelle
please
Pfeiffer
don't-
over Halle Berry.
Okay, hold on. The Bloody Shadow says Ruby King suggested this on my stream. What if the Joker was actually played by Willem Dafoe?
You know what? If they ever
I
do,
like that.
The Dark Knight Returns, that's a perfect Joker right there. Just imagine,
I-
as the
I
film
love
is
that.
ending, they do the iconic comic book panel. Batman?
I think my sister described it best, though, which,
God.
if you compare like Jack Nicholson with Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson was an amazing Joker for like, the comedic Joker sort of thing, and then Heath Ledger was like, you have the dark comedy in there, but it was like he was like the very gritty, yeah. So it's like both of the. It's really hard for
him at the end.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to pick which I like more because both of them.
Jared Leto, but God damn it,
They each fill their niche basically.
Yeah.
I like the Jack Nicholson one, especially with the 21 and a half inch barrel revolver. Yeah.
I mean, when you're the clown prince of crime, I mean, he lives up to the clown aspect really well.
Yeah, I know. Just long ass. Imagine actually getting like. I would like to get like if I ever am able to overcome my issues and actually to trust myself with a firearm. I would love to like be shooting that thing out at the range and just see people's reactions to that long ass barrel on a pistol.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the recoil would probably fuck you up.
Well, man, I probably don't want to start with something like that. 21. I mean, hey, it's long enough to have a stock on it because it's more than 16 inches.
Mine's bigger.
Oh God!
I wish it was.
Oh my God, we're going into
my gun's bigger than your gun.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
I mean, hey, if with powerful enough ammunition, it might actually be accurate as a rifle. with that kind of long barrel, if you had a sight and a way to aim it,
The only problem with Willem Dafoe playing Joker would be my same worry if they did a Red Hood movie. They may ruin it.
If you're doing the Red Hood movie, you really got to find that actor that really embodies Jason's Todd, and you really got to nail out why Jason keeps saying to Batman, "Why don't you kill the Joker?" Well, Jason, there's a reason why we say Grayson is Batman's greatest success. You're the greatest failure. Tim is the perfect Robin, and Damian's like a combination of all of them. You're the example. If he kills Batman, he's literally becoming the Red Hood. He's the example. Let me find that video. There's a great video about this that someone did. I'll leave it in the private chat.
All right. Yeah, because
I don't
I just
think
simply
any
gotta say-
Joker will ever fuck me up as much. So I don't know why, but the Batman Beyond's Joker, I don't know if it's because Mark Hamill. So I think it's Mark Hamill, right? That did the animated
Mark
voice.
Hamill from Beyond.
Yeah.
He came
I
back.
don't know why, but that Mark Hamill's Joker was still kind of fucks me up a little.
Yeah,
I mean, I
in
think
fact, Roshan actually
that was
says, I don't know if this is relevant, but I have to say that I like this community. I do have to go through a 3 to 6 p.m. lab later, which I really don't want to do. This is a nice escapism for a while. Hey, we're just actually
Glad we get out there, Roshan.
Yeah.
in fact, that's what we're here for, because we actually want to give people a chance to actually vent themselves, just let ourselves be who we are, and try to actually find a way to overcome
also-
certain issues.
Ultrasound asked a pretty damn good question. Y'all listen to Pantera?
The only song I actually really like from Pantera is called "This Love."
I more prefer their OG '80s stuff from before the Cowboys of Hell era.
Right.
Yeah, in fact,
On,
one song I really like from Pantera is called "This Love."
No.
In fact,
Pantera,
I
huh?
watching
Pantera,
freaking Whitehead reviewing that song, and freaking Whitehead would be like, "This guy's dad must have kicked his ass when he was a kid," and Beavis would be like, "Yeah," he's like, "Oh, damn it, Pantera, this beer's warm. Give me another one." He's like, "Well, double respect, Pantera. You just are able to slip me on the street." Damn, Pantera, that's
You know what's funny?
What is that? Piercing, Pantera? Is that
I heard
little girl
that.
said,
Oh.
I didn't kick your ass in the next dude. I'm Gary Quilling like damn little girl. Yeah.
Pantera,
Down.
aren't they ashamed of their old stuff?
Unfortunately, yes.
Why?
That's what I want to know.
They got woke, didn't they?
Third
No,
question,
no,
do you like
they
Sabbath
didn't get
Time?
woke. No, it's more like they think their old stuff ain't hardcore enough. And
Oh.
Are they one of those? Is this still about Pantera? Have they gone like full heavy metal elitist type of band?
Unfortunately,
Well, you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
I would rather have this happen. When it's like, oh, we weren't hardcore enough, so let's get even more hardcore. Yeah! I'd rather have that than them going soft or them watering themselves down. Isn't that right, new school Metallica?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that
dude,
when it comes to that, okay, the thing is, damn, I lost. Anyway, but another thing I was gonna say is, I actually heard that one of Terraria's bosses, called Plantera, was actually was supposed to be a play on words of Pantera.
Yeah, in fact, Ultimate Sniper S actually his first Pantera song I listened to was "Walk."
Nice.
Okay,
I haven't heard that one.
To know my taste in heavy metal, I need only mention Motorhead, Judas Priest, King Diamond, Accept, Overkill. Let's see what else.
I don't really listen to much metal
before
anymore.
the Black Album.
I
Yeah,
mean,
doesn't count
okay.
anymore.
Slayer.
You know how they have this saying called "quote unquote" sex, drugs, and rock and roll? They could really do
Yup.
without the drug part.
Yeah, well,
it depends, man.
yeah, I mean, nothing's wrong with
Drugs were part of the
little,
big rock and roll bands back in the day.
Yeah, the drugs kind of
The
fucked
Motley
some
Crue.
people up along the way.
Dun, 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 dun.
but hey,
Oh
I would
my
rather,
god! Just as you
Fine.
guys were talking about drugs, I got an email. For, like,
I
CBT,
would
and I'm
rather
like,
I'd rather see sex, drugs, and rock and roll than safe space, vaping, and what the fuck Wokies listen to.
True.
Yeah,
'cause,
fuck. Also, fuck the ukulele. The ukulele can fuck itself straight to hell.
The
God
big
damn.
7-4's
Why the
awesome.
fuck do Wokies love the ukulele?
Don't ask
Yo,
me.
it could be a
it's
cute
because
instrument in some
is
songs,
that
but
instrument that one vegan TikToker used?
Eat!
are we talking about that vegan teacher?
Yeah, that one. That one.
I
Oh
don't
my
know. The only
God.
reason the only reason I know of that vegan teacher was because shoot, what's his name? The Food Network chef
Gordon
that
Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay.
He made a burger.
He made a video trolling the shit out of
Oh my god! You do not ever go after Gordon Ramsay, okay? She actually
Gordon
learned that the
Ramsay
hard
will
way
blind check
when
you.
he actually called her a vegan donut. He was actually
Oh,
eating
yeah.
a kid, and then the next thing you know, he's like vegan donut, and then he eats a burger, just giving her like the other that classic middle finger to her. It was like friggin'.
Gordon
He
Ramsay's
actually eats a bit of kale, spits it out, vegan donut.
He is a national treasure.
Gordon Ramsay will vibe check you in no time for that.
That dude can insult me all he wants.
Yeah, I don't give a
Not-
fuck if he insults me.
Yeah, honestly, I think
Black
that
Sabbath, love them as well.
Oh,
and
Black
the
Sabbath
memes,
is
even
really,
to
really
this
good
day,
for Sniper,
memes.
especially the Tony Martin era of Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I've kind of been detached from the whole metal thing anymore these days. But has anyone seen the time when Rob Zombie did a picture with
Baby metal? Yes.
with
And
baby
also-
metal, and the metal community was here in the
hell
West
yeah.
was losing their fucking shit?
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Yeah, I
Rob
mean-
Zombie was defending Big House saying these girls are fucking hardcore.
These girls were probably closer to what metal used to be back in the day than what most metal bands today are. Here in the
And and again, they probably didn't like it because they probably. I bet you some people. I bet you a few people probably made pedo jokes or whatnot because some people hate
yeah,
the band.
There. Unfortunately, there are a bunch of Nihonga-phobes within the metal community. Unfortunately,
Wait,
never
wait,
mind.
wait.
Never mind that
There's
Japan.
another word for that, Matt. It's called xenophobia. And Joker, hang on. We'll actually get to you because he's got his hand up. Good.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, Nathan Steen. Yes, Ozzy is still a prick, but he is not nearly as bad as his wife.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. Sharon is still a real see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Well,
Where is it?
So anyway, Joker.
Oh, let me try to find it. We're all talking about all these awesome heavy metal bands.
Alright.
Okay, me and Killtrick were watching the Game Awards, and there's this freaking badass first-person shooter metal game that has all these heavy metal singers from like a lot of different bands, both male and female vocalists. So I'm like, holy shit, it looks pretty awesome. Let me try to find it.
You wouldn't be talking about
I gotta find it, but it looks
Painkiller.
awesome. Full-blown heavy metal, and they're all the singers. Like they all provided their songs and lyrics for this game. Looks badass.
Okay, you
I
wouldn't be
gotta
talking about
find
it.
Light,
Yeah,
would you?
I'll be back.
Alright.
Silent Joker. You wouldn't happen to be talking about Painkiller if it's first-person shooter, right?
I think that's the one.
I don't think
know.
I've heard of that.
I think it is.
Yeah, I was more. Other than that, I was more thinking Brutal Legend.
Painkiller. Let me see here.
Also, one thing I want to talk about is apparently, I don't know if this is 100%, but I believe Baby Metal has gone to retirement. I don't know if this is actual facts or not. I hope it's not because they are my favorite Japanese heavy metal band.
Yeah, if they did, I'm not too shocked. I don't think very many of these J-rock or J-pop groups really last that long. They kind of just do their thing, and I think they just drop off the earth.
Yeah, by the way,
yeah, they come and go. They don't last long too.
Yes.
Okay, what, Matt?
Can I suggest you some really awesome Japanese heavy metal bands? Especially
by all means. By all means. Like,
let me look from on the YouTubes because, good Lord, Anthem is so fucking awesome.
Right. Because, I enjoy heavy metal, and I'm not one of those individuals who's like I guess you could say elitist, where it's like, oh no, I can't listen to, this band because it's not American or it's not real. Like, no, I hate those people.
No, I've come across many elitist heavy metal fans who are all like, well, it's nothing like what European was like. It's like, okay, well, most European heavy metal bands, they're not that much different. They tend to change things up a little bit, otherwise it's going to be boring. It's going to get stale.
Exactly, but it's these elitists who's like, no, it's gotta stay the same. And guess what? I, as a gothic individual, like I'm in the goth community, I have elitists in the community, and they believe that we have to be the stereotype what you see on TV. Hi, it's a gloomy day. I only listen to goth music and wear black 24/7.
So essentially, ball goth poser sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's like everyone else is like,
the game. Found the game.
You found the game, he says.
Metal Health Singer. Metal Health Singer. Metal Health Singer. I'm gonna put this.
Oh, what happened to Sterno?
Something went freaking awry.
What happened to me as well?
No, hold on. I think he's back. Hold on. Let me bring it back in.
You might have to log off for a bit.
Sterno's fat.
The problem with browser-based systems is that I try to clean up my tabs and I accidentally close a tab that I actually wanted to have open.
Check this out, Matt. Private chat. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, this looks so fucking awesome.
Let's look at the chat.
Okay, guys. Let me see. Oh, dude. Like, what?
Not entirely my aesthetic, but holy shit.
Like, Jesus Christ, this is like,
look at all those names.
Eternal on crack.
Oh, and I can't even freaking play it because it's actually on freaking. What do I want to say there? It's on It's on freaking. It's on PS5.
And Steam, Xbox, PC, Xbox,
what's up?
All of them.
Wait, is it available on Steam?
PS5. Yeah, Steam. Oh god.
Xbox.
Yes, it's on PS4.
Oh my god, it is on Steam. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's also on PS4.
This will be going to my wish list.
Oh yeah. It's pretty much going on my.
I'm gonna see if I can get it.
This is definitely going on my games to get for the year list too.
Windows, Microsoft. Dude, when I saw that trailer at the Game Awards, I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting this game. I'm like, hands down, I want to play more type of these games. And when I saw all those singers, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking legit.
Yeah, this is basically Doom Eternal on crack speed PCP. and Ultimate Warrior's anabolic steroids.
I always keep saying I want to cover more.
Anything else to add to that list?
This is right here. I just found a whole shit ton of
Actually, wait
bands
a minute,
to
hold
listen
on.
to now.
Well, guys, I'd like to actually interject here. Basically, we're dealing with, companies trying to freaking, curve, like, the whole freaking sex in video games along with violence in video games because they can't learn to differentiate fiction from reality. Because, they're trying to actually freaking try to outlaw violence in video games because wasn't there a study that actually showed that there's no correlation between fictionalized violence from video games?
Yes, there was. But apparently, these people dismiss it and call it, it's wrong because the people who did it was with the patriarchy. They used patriarchy as an excuse to just discredit it offhand. It's the feminist movement that Sarkeesian
the secular
started.
hard left's god, the patriarchy.
It's that woman. That woman.
By the way, I want to tell something real quick. I'm glad that you showed this on Joker because it reminded me of the post that I seen. Okay, so do glory kills need to calm the hell down?
I just saw that. Fuck them.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about then. It's I don't know. The game is called Do Glory Kills, I believe, and they don't all need to be so violent that John Wick would spit his. They're complaining about the ultra violence in the video game, and it just comes off as, do you keep your balls in a purse? I mean, is that it? Like, who the hell says that?
Yeah, do you actually give it to like
giving people the option with a slider would be the best way of handling that.
Nah, he keeps his balls in his wife's purse.
Yeah,
it probably has a man bun and says, "Milady, can I have some coochie tonight, milady?" No, friend. I'm gonna go out and fuck your best friend who has a real dick. Okay, milady.
These feminists, they actually want to actually either pretend that they're actually not interested in men, or they just want to go after the hunky men, which probably don't even actually want any interest in them either.
Because the one wants
basically the catch-22.
I mean, when you have the pick of anyone, you're not gonna pick the one who will probably divorce you and then take all your money.
Exactly. And see, that's what these idiots fail to realize is the reason why men aren't dating these days is simply because you got women out here who hate men, or it's just toxic feminism.
And they take advantage of the court system too to basically milk men for all they're worth.
Guys, may I make a suggestion? May I make a suggestion? Check out Taylor the Fiend. He's actually a really chill dude, and he actually gets like all these freaking all these feminist talks and stuff like that. Actually gives his personal reactions to him. He just does an awesome job. So
I went on to I actually typed in on YouTube just Google's trolling feminist. There's this dude who was on a feminist Discord, right? So he's on this Discord with a bunch of disgusting women, and the first thing that this one woman says is, we should kill all men. And it's like, wow, what the fuck? Like, imagine if it was us saying, "Hey guys, let's kill all women."
Yeah, there would be hell.
No. Killing. If you actually want to end sexism, you gotta end the misandry, and therefore try to actually, that should actually end the misogyny as well. Because basically, there's actually just too much misandry in this world. Men are being straight. Men are being targeted because we're actually dealing with the world of freaking misandry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell me about it, man. I mean,
well, the thing is people they need to come with grips with reality. It's never going to go away. You're not going to eliminate You're never going to be able to eliminate misandry. You're never going to be able to eliminate misogyny. It's always going to exist from one small group of people. But guess what? Those people are usually never in power. And if they ever are, they usually get yeeted out of their position pretty quickly. So it's a fucking nothing burger of a cause.
And not just that, though, but it's both sides that are toxic, not feminists. Both sides, but it's just these third-wave feminists want to make it out to be only men are evil, sexist pigs, and yet you have these same women who will be like, oh yes, I like that hunky guy. Take it off, good looking, yummy.
Yeah, in fact, don't even get me started on people like freaking neuralities, because she's actually always saying lolicons are freaking bad, whereas she's actually completely radio silent on Shotacon.
Mm-hmm.
It's because she is one. She just wants it. The thing is, she probably views that as, she probably thinks the double standard is justified because, oh, women don't abuse people. That kind of worldview.
Johnny
Depp
got abused by his fucking ex-wife.
Yeah. And
she's getting her ass handed to her left and right.
The moment he wins, every man will come out against their wife.
Exactly. But, this is why I'm actually trying to defend, not just lolicons, but all through Shotacons as well, because, as much as I actually, it's much as like, people are actually saying, it should be a choice, we're actually, as long as we're not actually harming anybody IRL or ourselves, then we should actually do us. But here's the thing. These people just want to freaking, project their own insecurities onto people like us because they want to actually...
It's more than that.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say one thing. It's more than that, because once they get done with banning lolicon, making that completely illegal, they're going to move on to other things. Because once they have the precedent where the potential normalization is enough to justify banning something and removing its First Amendment protection, they're going to come after the violence next. They're going to keep going until until we're like South Korea, basically.
We're basically
South Korea porn is completely banned. Like possession of just straight pornography is banned. Even drawn pornography of any character is banned in South Korea. So
don't you mean North Korea?
Don't you mean North?
No, South Korea. South Korea is actually has a straight up, and that's because you've got a coalition between the feminists with some of the SWERFs and the
South Korea isn't exactly the safe haven that you guys think it is.
Yeah, South Korea.
I mean, it's far better than North Korea, but it's not.
Yeah, it's basically, and they have a great firewall. While maybe not as bad as China's, you can bet it's going to get there if people keep getting around it.
Yeah. Well, you guys already know my stance on the whole thing. It's like, you guys know that like I said in the Discord server, I'm sorry, I don't know. When it comes to the lolly and Shota stuff, to me, it is cringe. But I really do not see what the benefit to fighting it is. Because I'm pretty sure they did a study not too long ago when the politicians kept coming out and saying, oh no, lolly, 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 lolly. And it's like, okay, well, first of all these people that are crying out about it the hardest are being outed as being degenerates themselves. And I'm not talking about like weeb degenerates, like people like me who, you give me a friggin' Bara image and it's like, oh, whoa. No, we're talking about legit like pedos being put out there that are arguing out against this the hardest.
Yes, because
to me, it's sounding like a distraction now, at this point, because it's
that's actually one of my arguments.
Let's go against the lolly and the Shota that have no link to this, or if the link does exist, it's kind of like that of first-person shooters and guns. It's not an epidemic level thing that is worth fighting against.
What's funny is that
Just
all
like
the
with
arguments
first-person
that
shooters and gun violence,
Mm.
what you need is to not go after the first-person shooters. What's causing the gun violence? Mental health issues. You need to tackle that.
Exactly.
When it comes to child predation and child sex trafficking, you need to go after the root causes, not these things that have no proof of having any link to any of this.
And
the thing
so,
is the reason why they're
They
illegal.
don't give a
Well, the reason
fuck
why
about
it's for quote unquote
Whoa,
risk
one at a time, one at a
management.
time.
One at a time.
Sorry. But you
Okay.
know our politicians, they just don't give a fuck about the kids. They're just looking for clout.
It's all just for an image that they like to they want to avoid the facts because they know that there's two things in this world politicians like to weaponize. No, I'm not going to say. No, there's multiple things they like to weaponize, but I'm going to focus on this one since it's more related to this topic. But children, next to women and the LGBT and people of color, one of their favorite things to weaponize here in the recent years is children. And they know that everybody who actually gives a damn about children, they know that those people are going to listen to the politician that's going to Christ, think of the children. So it doesn't matter whether or not it actually has an effect on the children. The second they say, think about the children, that's how they get them hooked.
it kind of reminds me of that one Family Guy cutaway, Lois just running for mayor, and all she had to do was just say 9/11, and the entire crowd was
Exactly.
like, "Oh yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. You have our vote, you have our attention." It's just like that. All you have to do is just say children. Okay, you got my vote, good sir. Okay, that's all you had to do.
Because as much as I hate Brian Griffin, he is right on this. Many independent voters tend to be fucking stupid. They don't pay attention to actual shit. So the second you know how to tug on the heartstrings of the people, you can fight for whatever cause that you want, and then find the weapon. No matter how disconnected it is from it, use that, and next thing you know, you got like votes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make,
That's why we usually call them cause heads. And
Yeah,
as PCU once.
And what do you think? What do you think they're doing to pass the to ban encryption and consolidate the internet by making small sites hard to run? Well, that's the Earn It Act right there.
Welcome to
They're
our
controlling the internet is the cause they want, but they're using the children as a weapon.
And by the way,
welcome to our
out there too.
Okay, Joker, go ahead.
Nope. Nope. I'm good.
All right.
All right. Well, you guys.
One thing I did want to throw out there real quick, is, there is a correlation between these anti-emoticons / shotacons and people who point at anime and say, "Oh my God, that's a cheese pizza," and actual cheese pizza lovers, because every time someone points at Ilulu or Yuzaki-chan and say, "This is a child and this is CP," guess what happens a week after that? That person is caught with actual CP on their hard drive. It's like, wait.
Yeah,
like Sarah Weidenhuff's brother?
Politicians,
What you fighting against
for this?
Dr. Pizza?
Yeah, that's why we keep saying reset the clock.
All right, guys.
I would like to say, practice what you preach.
Let's wrap this up, okay?
Always practice what you preach.
Anyway, let's wrap this up because
2 hours.
Let's wrap this up because we've actually just done over 2 hours. So all
right.
Anyway, let's call it good. Anyway, let's get our final goodbyes out of the way. So now let's start off with you.
Yeah. If that bill passes, the internet, you're going to basically shove all the small sites that don't want to risk getting whose owners don't want to risk getting put in prison for the action of some dumbass who decides to post illegal stuff to their site. They're going to go to the dark web, even if they're perfectly legitimate and actually ban bad content, because all it takes is for that to be up there for 1 millisecond, for just being up there at all. Even if they take it down immediately, under the Earn It Act, one of the states probably has a law where it doesn't matter if they took it down. They're still guilty of it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. So in order to get protection from that, you have to pay Microsoft to get photo DNA for images to be scanned beforehand, because even the thing is, then you get your 230 back, and basically you would be protected under the federal law again. But you have to do that photo DNA thing, which probably costs money. So if you're poor, you're up to the mercy of 50 state attorney generals, basically, which any one of them can come after you. So yeah.
All right, Joker.
Oh no, nothing much for me, but just keep on rocking the dragons, my dude, and fuck High Guardian Spice.
Nice.
Damn right. But use a rubber, for God's sakes. You don't know where that shit's been.
Yeah, exactly. Dio?
My glorious fellow heathens, it was fun. I'm glad I got to speak today. And yeah, if anyone ever says they're against ladies or anything like that, or if they're male feminists, ladies, hide your children and take care of yourselves, because 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, they don't really care about ladies and shit. They just want to try to get to you or your kid. So protect yourself. And until next time, my glorious little heathens, remember to let your desires burn brightly.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yep.
I still got it.
All right. Anyway, Ty?
Well, all I can really say is thank you for having me on, and people, just try to maintain some level of skepticism. People, just be skeptical of everything that comes your way, and remain open-minded, but don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out of your head cavity.
The old, pretty much the old George Carlin philosophy.
Yep. Okay, Matt, over to you.
Oh, nothing much from me as usual, guys. Just be excellent to each other and party the fuck on, dudes. And remember, I couldn't think of a better punishment for all the wokies, geese, cheese pizza lovers, and asshole politicians to go. But so for now, let's just drop him into the Detroit gulag.
Ooh.
Woo!
Well, that was pretty cool.
Hey, you can't top that.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you actually being here with me. I'm still trying to hope and hold on to actually getting up to 500 subscribers, so I can actually build that freaking little special gumbo for you guys, because that's going to be my personal thank you for, being there with me.
You can do Zoids. I don't see too many Zoid builds.
And basically, Razor Fist doesn't understand anime, which I kind of feel bad for. But anyway, just
you guys will have to fill me in on that later.
Yeah. Anyway, just remember these 3 things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy your fandoms, anime is freedom, and until the next time we meet again, hopefully tomorrow, before I go to the freaking basketball game, this is Mr. Anime 343 saying, God, anime, mecha, and big titty wife fucking speed.
Boobies!
Oh, and thanks for the mental health singer suggestion there, Ty.